Welcome to Still Here, Still Trying.
I'm Mira. Your host is Mike Baker.
Mike is a beer league goalie, which means he willingly stands in front of flying rubber and calls it fun.
Goalies are weird.
They talk to posts. They call getting hit in the head a warm-up. They smell like cold ice, old gear, and warm beer. Beer league is family. The kind that chirps you, protects you, and still grabs a drink with you after a bad goal. Today, Mike is joined by Tom Buck, creator-teacher goalie, someone Mike met at Weekend Warriors camp this summer, where goalie conversations stopped being about hockey almost immediately. Full disclosure, Mike was nervous for this one. Respect nervous, the good kind. This episode is a goalie's letter to Santa, a wish list. Funny on the surface, very real underneath. Goalies will feel seen. Skaters will learn something. Everyone else will finally understand why goalies are like this. Mike, you're up.
Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to introduce my guest today. I am so fortunate to have a very fine gentleman named Tom Buck on the episode today. Thank you, Mira, for teeing it up for us. Listen, I just got home from a really fun beer league game. And earlier in the day, I was able to interview Tom. We had a great conversation about life as a goalie. We did a wish list for Santa. I think you guys are going to have so much fun with this episode. Be sure to like, share, follow, have fun with this one. And then seriously, go get to know Tom. You can find everything about Tom at his amazing website. It's just my name is tom.com. Tom has just an incredible YouTube channel. He's got several podcasts, prolific, just creator. He's an amazing person. And I had so much fun getting to know him at the Weekend Warriors hockey camp this summer. It's just such an honor to have somebody like Tom on my show. As you all know, I'm just getting started out, and Tom's an expert at this. His gear recommendations for podcasts and everything, he just does it right. And so I was truly honored to have Tom on the show. So I hope you enjoy it. I know I did, and I know it's going to be a fun one for you. So enjoy the episode. Here we go. Welcome, everybody. I'm so excited to have Tom on the show. We're going to spend some time talking about the goalie life. One of my earlier episodes, you happened to watch it. It was the goalie manifesto. And we talked a little bit about that episode after, and it could be really fun to have a goalie conversation about this. So since we're in the holidays, we're going to do a holiday themed goalie wish list. We're going to ask Santa for a few things, but do you have anything you want to say before we jump into this here, Tom?
No, thanks for having me, Mike. I've been really, really looking forward to this because it was super fun getting to meet you and go through the camp with you last summer. And there's definitely a few items I would like under my metaphorical tree for the holidays.
It's going to be great. Yeah, we got to know each other at the Weekend Warriors camp. For anyone that's looking for a great goalie camp, man, it's so fun. I think I've been doing that for about 6 years or so.
Yeah,
And I
it's so
heard
good.
you're doing Tahoe.
Yeah, that's my
And
plan. I mean, I
Yep.
signed up for it, so
Sounds good. It's
that's the
great.
plan.
I know. I haven't figured out which one I'm gonna do. Tahoe is a great spot. That's actually the first one I did.
Oh yeah.
It was the first COVID year, and so it was a crazy mess, but it was a blast. Tahoe was a great spot. So, well,
Yeah.
good. Well, so from goalie camp, you always get to talk and hang out with goalies. I think this is a pretty common theme. We were talking a little before the show. We do want to add a disclaimer because, we're actually both pretty humble people in our lives. And I was telling you, even when I'm chirping people in the locker room after I chirp, my guilt kicks in and I feel bad. I'm like, I didn't really mean that. Everyone can chirp me; it's totally fine. But I feel like when I'm chirping, so we were talking about this is all supposed to be fun. Anything, when we're throwing out comments of things we wish, we also know, inside our heads. And I think that's really common with goalies. We're replaying every single mistake that we
Oh my
make. We're
gosh,
well
yeah.
aware of them. So, yeah. How do
Yeah.
you handle all that?
Well, I know for everything I ask like a defense player to do, I'm doing 3 things that they would like me to do differently. So like I'm very aware of that. The mental side of it is so challenging, but I okay, there's a couple ways to handle it, which is one, like I think that it applies to so much in life in general. So I really like that it's like I feel like I'm building skills that can apply elsewhere. Also, having worked as like a full-time online content creator for going on 5 years now, the flip side of that is I am used to people being really mean to me for no
Yeah.
reason. So like um
It's a self-inflicted thing about us. Maybe goalies really are crazy.
they kind of go hand in hand. But I did have a moment a couple weeks ago. So I don't know that I've ever like really chirped anyone. Usually like the closest I'll get is if it's someone I know like coming in on a breakaway or like a shootout shot or something. I'll be like, man, I thought we were friends. Like we went out to eat that one time. Don't you remember? Like I'll like just be saying like weird things like that to them. But the thing that I do is like I will just like acknowledge like that was a good shot, man. This was like I don't know. I it just doesn't work for me to try to get under people's skin. And in a weird way, I think being nice gets under some people's skin.
Oh.
um, but a couple weeks ago, somebody was like, we were playing a different team, or no, sorry. I came in for my game. There was a game going on, and someone on one of the teams there, he was like, "Oh, hey, are you playing next?" I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh, it's you. You're the nice goalie." And I was like,
I love
"Oh,
that.
I'll take that."
I'll
Like,
take that all day long.
yeah. So then he's like, "Yeah, we'd love to have you sub for us if you ever could." And I was like, I'm just gonna ride this. This is the this is the path for me for sure.
I like it. Maybe that's the bonus tip for goalies that are listening. Like, be the nice goalie, and you get a lot more ice time.
Yeah, I have despite the fact I need to take a break for a couple weeks because I got hit in the head a couple times last week. Prior to that, I have in this season since October, so almost exactly 2 months, our season has started. I've played on 7 teams, and maybe this says something about the teams. I don't know. My shots against, shots faced. I'm not in first place in terms of save percentage in our league, but out of like the 17, 18 goalies or whatever, I am in first place in number of shots faced by like 150,
I love
almost 200. Like it's not even close. And I've only paid for ice time on 2 of those teams. So it's pretty sweet.
It's awesome. It's always extra practice. I'll tell you a quick story. I was subbing for a team this season, and it was in our middle division, but it's a firefighter team, and the way their team sets up, they never know who's going to be on shift. So they have a lower division team and a middle division team. And this game, it just worked out. It was pretty much all of the newer lower division guys playing in the middle division. So it was pretty intense. By the end of the first period, I had already counted like so that they don't actually track our goals or our shots against in our league for some reason. So I kind of keep track in my head. But the end of the first period, I was at 30 shots already.
Goodness.
And then I was like, okay, well, this is interesting. And I mean, they scored a few. I think it was like 4-0 or something like that. Um, but I started chirping the other team. I'm like, look, guys, we're just gonna go all in on this. Like 100, we're gonna have 100 shot game. Like, let's go. And so from the second period to the end of the third, I'm just like, bring it on, guys, let's go. Like more and more shots, more shots. There was like 2 minutes left, and they were at 97 shots.
Oh my
And
God,
I'm
that's
like, you
crazy.
babies, you gotta go. So I'm chirping at them, like, get some shots in, let's go. And everybody was just laughing. I mean, I think it was probably like 13-2 or something, by the time the game was over. But it was so much fun. And they
Hmm.
came after, like, we're used to goalies kind of saying stuff to us, but we've never had goalies like chirping at us for like shooting more than, we should and stuff. Because a lot of times when you get up that far,
Yeah.
you kind of lay back, but everybody was just having so much fun. So I felt like, all right, we're going to set a North Idaho beer league record of 100 shot game.
I love that. But that's what's kind of cool about the position. You really kind of have your like hand on the rudder of the game more than you realize sometimes. Like
Yeah.
you can very much affect positive or negatively the feel of the game.
Oh, I think that emotional control, I love the this whole Ted Lasso thing about, be a goldfish, right?
Hmm.
I mean, stuff's gonna get by. People are gonna score. That just it is what it is.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like, we take every goal that goes in, it's our fault. But we're also like, yeah, okay, they did go through every single player on the team first,
Yeah.
right?
This
And I
was the
did my
fifth
best.
breakaway.
I had some great
Right.
saves, X, Y, and Z, but it's really interesting because you do have to reset. And I've only had a few games in my career where I've just like lost my mind. I and it had nothing to do with the game. Like I'd
Mhm.
had a bad day at work. I showed up at the rink and like somebody said something stupid and I'm just like, "Rah!" and that is rare. Like everybody that knows
Yeah.
me at the rink, I am also a relatively happy goalie and just I'm out there to have fun. But every once in a while it does get in your head. So I think that's a great segue into like some of the things that we think about as goalies. I've had a lot of people ask, like when I'm new to a team, they're like, "What do you want from me?" As a
Mhm.
defenseman, or where do you want me to play? And so hopefully some of the fun tips that we're going to talk through on our Christmas wish list, they help people out. But on the first one here, we listed a few out, but I said, "Dear Santa, clear the crease." Talk to me about like what does it mean to clear the crease for you as a goalie?
I guess it can mean two things, which is primarily just stay out of my little. You guys have the whole ice. I have this little blue thing. This is my little area. Okay, I stay mostly within this. Let me have this space. Let me, work in my office over here. Um, that's a big one. Get out of my way. And then two, which man, I have one or two defense players on one of my teams that are so good about this. So I wish this happened a lot, which there are times, when there's like a lot happening in the crease and you're trying to like get the puck or to freeze it or whatever, or you've stopped it and there's a rebound just kind of sitting there, but you can't quite move the right way. They will just take it and just fire it down the ice. It doesn't matter if it's icing or whatever, but literally it's there and then it disappears because it happens so fast. And I love that. It's such a
Yeah.
like, thank God. Like I made, a couple saves, but I can't stop it and you just cleared it and we're good. So I guess it's like stay out of the crease, but if you're in the crease, help.
Help, please help. Oh, I love that reset. I don't know, maybe you feel this way too. It's like there's this momentum when the puck comes into your zone. It's like, cool, like I can block 3 or 4 shots, we're gonna do
Hmm.
great, but it's almost like there's a time clock and the longer they have the puck, I mean, it's not that
Yeah.
complex, but the more they have the puck, the more chances they have to
Yeah.
score. And it's just like, I love an icing. I mean, send it out. I don't care about an icing. That's great. Get it out. Let's get control. Let's reset. Give everybody a
Hmm.
chance. Bring in a fresh new line. Um, there's a guy. I'm going to give a shout out. There's a guy in our league. His name is Andrew, and he is probably the league's best screener. And he sits up and like I hate playing against him because he knows where to sit in front of me, and I'm down there, and he's a big, tall guy. He's so much fun to play, but I'm half the time I'm looking at this guy's butt right in my face, and he's screening me, and he's so good at it, but like nobody comes in and pushes him out of the way. When as a
Yeah.
defender, I mean, I've got a couple guys that, I mean, they're probably a little more aggressive, and they'll just knock people down. I don't know why that guy fell, right? But like as soon as you get in that scramble, they're in there just pushing people out. I mean, I love it when defenders come in and just
Hmm.
push people out of the way. If somebody's going to walk from the corner all the way to the middle of the ice and just drop one in, and nobody even puts a body on that person, you know, it's a little bit hard. I mean, it's
Yeah.
hard to track. So keep people out, like let us see the puck, and then just yeah. I love how you said you guys have all the rest of the ice. Just let me have this little blue space. I think that works with the coloring of your microphone and everything.
Yeah.
You've got that
It's
really
all.
dialed in. Your brain's just wired for that blue crease.
See, yeah, I'm programmed. I'm drawn to it like a moth.
That's perfect. I like it a lot. Our ice is so bad half the times you can't even see like where the crease is. So
Yeah,
you know
I'm
it,
lucky to
it
play on a newer sheet of ice, and it's quite nice.
It is very nice. Nice ice is nice. All right. Well, let's check into number 2. Dear Santa, and we just kind of hit this, but fewer screens and more blocked shots. Now, there's
Hmm.
kind of a double-edged sword sometimes on that blocked shots, but
Yeah,
tell
there
me,
very
tell me
much
about
is.
this one. What are you thinking?
So I actually just saw this happen in a Jets game last night. someone was taking a shot from like the point, and Hellebuck was lined up perfectly to make the save. Puck is coming, and one of his defensemen just lifts his stick and then launches it into like the opposite corner of the net, and basically scored on themselves.
What are you doing,
Um,
goalie? Why didn't you get that shot?
yeah, and they both just looked at each other like, and that is like the time that guy is going to do that this season in the NHL game. That type of thing happens, when it happens 2 or 3 times a period, that's when I'm
Yeah.
like, okay. The number of times that I see the puck, I'm in position, I'm tracking it, it's going right into my glove, and at the last second, someone, and I know it's probably just reflex, right? Like you just want to stop it and block it, but a stick or a leg or something just comes out of nowhere, and then it breaks the laws of physics and like teleports into it. Like I can't let me see it when it's far away like that. Let me see it because there's very little chance it's going to go in. It's when it gets deflected and stuff. If we're closer, if we're talking about like we're on the doorstep, we're right outside the blue paint,
In the box.
then like please, like let's all block let's all get in the way there, because that is hugely helpful. But when it's from a distance, let me see it. I did have, and I don't feel bad because this person's my friend. But I was playing with someone, and his positioning, he started playing defense and just had a knack for it, which is so good at defense, except he played like a goalie, meaning that he wanted to be where the goalie was supposed to be. And so many times, like, you are just, please, like, let me see the shot. And it got to the point where once he was like, I got this, you take the back door, is what he told me. And I was like, no, no.
I love that.
You take the back door. I'll take the front door because that's what I'm here
On
for.
my job. Yeah.
So sometimes that happens. People have such great positioning. They're especially if they're relatively new or whatever, they're lined up and they're blocking the puck from the net, but they don't realize that they're screening their own goalie. And,
Yeah.
and I try to say different things, whether it's like can't see, eyes, screen, something, but sometimes people are just in the moment. They don't hear you. They just stay there.
I am actually hard of hearing, but sometimes I'm like, guys, like I'm the deaf one, and I know that you can hear me out there. Why isn't this landing? So for me, yeah, I just say can't see. I tell every team,
Yeah.
look, if you hear me screaming can't see, just pick a side. I don't care. Just that means you are right in my way. Tagging onto your story, so I skate out on one of my teams. I played defense, and as a goalie defender, I've had some nights where I'm like, love save and butterfly and the goalie behind me, she's just like, what are you doing, Mike? Like that's my job. But let's see, Sunday I was playing and I did the exact same thing that just happened in that Hellebuck game. Guy took a shot like wide
Mhm.
out. I'm like, oh, I got this. I step in and like my stick, it just hit the very tip of my stick right up
Mhm.
on my handle, and then beautiful top corner goal. And it's like, oh, and I think for defenders or people out there, like what maybe what they don't understand is like we're tracking this thing that's coming in really, really fast. Um, and that slight adjustment, I mean, you can see it. And then I have two things like just that slight adjustment, it messes up my angle. And so my body's not where it needs to be. But also, like our brain's locked in. It's almost like, if a skater skates past you at the perfect time and blinds you right when it's coming across,
Mhm.
you kind of lose that focus. And it's so hard as a goalie. You're tracking all these other things. All of a sudden, you're dialed in. We don't have 90-mile-an-hour slap shot in beer league, but they come in pretty quick.
Yeah.
And just that brief like shifting your brain and your eyes track to something else. You hear a noise, like you really have to dial in. So for me, as my defenders, yeah, I mean, if you're going to block the shot, you better block the shot, right? I mean, I've got a
Mhm.
couple guys, they've been playing forever. I trust them that they're going to block the shot. And when they're in
Mhm.
front of me, I'm just like, hey, can't see, but I'm not like freaking out because I know most
Yeah.
of the time they're going to tag it. Sometimes you get a weird bounce off the shin pad and it is what it is. But then you've got some of these guys that like, I'm like, just get out of my way.
Yeah, I know. I have a pair of defenders on one of my teams. They've been playing together for a long time, and then this is our second season playing together. And when they're on the ice, it almost feels like we're a pair or trio of 3 defenders.
And that's
And
magic,
I can't
right?
tell you how much I love that. Like
Yeah.
I trust them. There's communication. Like it's almost like unspoken, and it's sort of the first time I've had that dynamic on a team, and it makes a world of difference when you all kind of understand or you don't even have to think about it because it's good, and it's like whatever that means I need to do. If that's even like passing the puck, if that means they're going to clear it when there's a scrum happening in the crease, whatever it is, it's like we are covered, and they're so good about like we let you see the shot, we'll take the option, we'll take the rebound, whatever. It's like, oh, thank you so much, and it's a thing. As soon as I see them on the ice, even subconsciously, I just
Yeah,
relax a little bit.
totally.
We're good for another minute or
Yeah,
so.
my middle division team, we're called the No Regretskis. We have my two D lines. They've actually been playing together for a really long time on our team, and it's magic. Like it is
Mhm.
so cool when you have that partnership with your D guys. And we have Allie is probably the best defender in the league. Allie can do whatever she wants. I trust Allie. Allie usually plays with Brent, and Brent's he just works hard. That guy will go after everybody. He's a guy that's just like, if you're even close to me, he's just knocking people down, and like he's just like the
Mhm.
perfect goalie defender, and it's great. My I've got Travis and Andrew on the other two lines, and they're where they need to be. I think when just kind of wrapping this piece up a little bit, just in that being in the right position, block
Mhm.
shots vein. It's like when the defenders and the forwards do have to help too, right? It's great when a forward floats
Of
back, but
course.
when they're in the right position, the game. I think it's what we learned in goalie camp. This game it's I wasn't great at math, but it's a lot of math. It's a lot of
So much.
geometry, right? And like just when they did the video and they showed us how big we look when we're out in the crease versus
Mhm.
and back. But if you kind of have a little bit of that mindset as a defender, you can hog up the net. So if I'm on the post and, I would say if, hang on my right side, if I'm over on the post, like you just kind of hug my shoulder and line up and we're gonna
Mhm.
cover like oh, there's no net left if we're
Yeah.
doing that right. So I think it's great, and I wish maybe that's a future episode with we can like you're great at pulling out diagrams and stuff. We'll just like diagram it out. Like here's
Yeah.
the angle. This is gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
People can take the Defender 101 class from goalies.
Yeah. Don't ask me to play out
I
there, but
like it. That's great.
I'll
Exactly.
tell you what
You
I need.
sound good behind a microphone. It's
Yeah.
great. All right. Well, let's jump into number
I'm
3. And
excited for this one because I have
this one's all about the refs. You want to take it? You do the
well,
lead in.
dear Santa, this Christmas, I would like refs who understand goalie interference. And I think I might preface that by saying, in your leagues or your teams, what do you what do you view as goalie interference? Because it is vague, at least where I'm at.
Yes. For us, so there's one ref that is a goalie, and man, I get the guy was in the crease calls all the time, which is fascinating. And he actually calls like more goalie interference calls. Um, Everyone else, I think it is just so random. So especially at the different levels of the game. So our lower division beer league, it's just chaos in front of that net, and you're getting bumped all the
Mhm.
time. I think as the skill level goes up, there's a little better understanding of it, but I think it's definitely hard to define. I've yet to see it defined well in beer league at tournaments, stuff like that. It's when you have to
Right.
kind of prepare for it mentally because somebody's. You're gonna get bumped, but when it hurts, it's not good.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
mean, that's the thing, where the rink I play at is connected to an AHL team's arena. So several of our refs are AHL off ice officials, which is great because they know the game so well,
Yeah.
and they're usually baffled by what's happening at our games. So they're great, but there are a few refs who aren't. So maybe half of them are the AHL officials, and it's like they're awesome. Every time they're there, it's the same thing. I'm just like, oh, we're good, even if something sucks or I think there's a mistake, I'm just going to trust them because I 100% know what they're doing. And there's a couple others that are not that. But we have one rep specifically who is like a big stickler for rules, which I'm okay with. Like he is very by the book, but will go and like find the most obscure, like, well, Article B, Appendix D, subsection 12, like dot
Yeah.
five, like
He's got it memorized, huh?
yeah, and you're like, okay, and sometimes it is bizarre because there was one game where he just decided it was like anytime, and I guess there was something in some book somewhere, anytime an opposing player skated through the crease, he blew the whistle.
Oh,
Not with the puck or anything, just they skated through the crease like to get somewhere, which, I'm not like it's not my favorite thing, but it usually doesn't
Yeah.
matter if the puck's not around. And then we get a whistle and a face off, and it's like apparently that's like interference, and we just decided that game that was going to be enforced, and it was like it's confusing because you need that consistency of what to expect. But the biggest thing for refs and the best refs at whatever level is they can be teachers, especially when you're dealing with adults who might have started playing later in life, and like we didn't get coaching as kids. Like I didn't
Yeah.
live at the rink when I was a kid and have all the training and have all the coaches and know all the rules, whatever. It's like I started when I was 37, like kind of figuring it out. So having someone explain like whatever it is, you get a penalty, your team takes a penalty and they like, oh, this is why I called that penalty. This is
Mhm.
how this works. This is how a faceoff works. We're calling goalie interference. This is what that is. Like it's such a good chance to teach. And the more that the refs teach, the better that whole league will be because everyone's operating on the same playbook or the same page.
Yeah. And then I'll take the other side of it. I mean, you know how beer leaguers are so excited about being educated about penalties. I have this thing. I'm like, look, guys, I've never seen a ref change their mind from your defense. Like you can make a
Yeah, I've
great
never seen it.
case. Like they absolutely may have blown the call, but it doesn't actually change the outcome of the call.
I've
So,
had
and I
refs say
always,
after the game that they were
oh
like, "That was
yeah,
a messed up call, sorry," but
totally, yeah,
not
yeah.
never will it change during the game.
No, I think it's hard. I mean, I've never refed a game, so again, you're supposed to walk a mile in someone else's shoes. I do want to say, like, the refs that we have at our league, I mean, they also play. They're
Mhm,
part of the family, but it's a tough job. I mean, I think no matter what, you're going to piss somebody off, and then you've got a bunch of just intense people playing an intense game and something
mhm.
happens and it can go from like 0 to 10 in seconds. You got somebody that they haven't dealt with their PTSD and it's just like snap into just like,
Yeah.
whoa, where did that monster come from? So I'm grateful for the refs and I love it when they explain stuff. So sometimes I don't hear what the call was. And so I'm like, hey,
Mhm,
what was that? I mean, I always want to make sure my tone, like I'm not questioning the call. I didn't know what that was. So, yeah, having refs that really understand the game is really important. And then I think, the advice to everyone that's listening, like, I'll put the explicit on this, like, just the don't be an asshole rule. Like, that's what
yeah.
this is all about, right? Like, it's just, you can't show up and just be a jerk to everybody on the ice because you had a bad day.
Mhm,
It just ruins the game. And like when we talked about earlier, when you as a goalie kind of lose your mind and like you shift the momentum for your team.
mhm.
There's one team in our league and they're just famous for, they get an injustice happens
There's
to
always
them
that
and a
team.
penalty call and then, like, they're ahead, and then it's just like, that's actually the way to beat them is just do something stupid, get a weird call, and then they break down and just like, "Oh, we got these guys." So just keep your cool. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, no, that's a good and, there's a thing too, I guess, to kinda, like, tack onto this point. A couple weeks ago, I was playing on one of my teams, and we were playing against somebody who I had been on a team with before. So we, like, kinda knew each other, hadn't played in a while, totally nice. They came in to do a thing, I blocked the shot, and he kind of was, like, semi-jokingly, like, pushing at me after the whistle, which I knew this is a person I knew, he's kinda joking,
Yeah.
he's not hurting me. Someone on my team came and just like, boom, and he was like, "Don't touch my goalie."
That's right.
And then they kinda got into it for a bit because
Yeah.
he did not know that
Yeah, yeah,
context.
yeah. You're like, "Whoa, whoa,
Um,
whoa."
and so, yeah, we played then during the break, like, the intermission between periods, I went over to the guy from my team, and I was like, "That guy, like, he's totally fine, I know him." I was like, "But honestly, though, thank you for standing up for me, like, I do really appreciate
Yeah,
that." He was like and I think it had gotten under his skin and, you know, like, it had gotten under his skin, then they got into a thing, and you always feel like, you're questioning, like, "Did I overreact?
right.
Did I do whatever?" And I think it was important to recognize that, like, despite the fact it wasn't necessary, having someone stand up for me when they thought I was being interfered with and, go out of their way to defend it and to make it clear to the other team, like, "Don't do that."
Yeah.
Um, definitely no one else did it the rest of the game.
I know. It's a
I wanted to
really
make sure
cool.
to thank him for that.
Yeah, no, it's a really cool bond, I think, between I grew up playing defense and then started goalie later, but there's just that thing, like, as a D guy, I'm just, that's my job, protect the goalie. I mean, you got to be there. And early on playing goalie, like, I'm pretty mellow, and when things would get aggressive, like, even if it was kind of a dick move and I got knocked down, and they're going after him, I'm like, guys, it's okay, I'm fine, knock it off. And
Yeah.
the last little while though, I'm like, dude, take them out. Like, I'm fine with that. I am really grateful for those defenders. I mean, I look at on the Nogreski's where we've been playing together for so long. I mean, it's awesome. Like, you
Yeah.
know that I can stay focused over here. I've got my post. Someone's gonna tag the other one, and they've got my back, and hopefully they know, like, I'm doing everything I can to have their back as well. So it's a
Mhm.
great partnership. Well, thank you to the refs out there, right?
Yeah.
Like, refs are they're always underappreciated, but even when we
Can't
chirp
play
the
without
refs,
you,
we
so
love
thank
them,
you.
right? Exactly. All right. Well, hey, this next one's fun because, like, I don't. It probably hasn't happened to you because you're a great goalie, but I've had games where it's like 10-1, and I'm like, yeah, I
That
know
would never
I let
happen to
some goals
me.
in,
Never
but
happen.
you also, I mean, you had one goal and like three shots.
Right.
At some point, there's this imbalance. So there's this beautiful moment in hockey, and I love it in like an NHL game or in like a professional game where it's like penalties called, power plays coming up, and there's just like this energy shift in the arena.
Yes.
It's like, yeah, something magic's gonna happen. And then for
Yeah.
that, so our penalties are 3 minutes because we used to have a running clock, but
Same.
whatever
Yeah.
that 2 minute, 3 minute, or hey, 10 minute majors, right? Like, when you get those calls, everybody's on their feet, like something incredible is gonna happen because you've got that one less skater, or man, a 5-on-3. Those
Right.
are just magic. So when those moments come up, so this one we have, Dear Santa, a power play that scores.
I don't
Let,
what?
let's
You could do
go.
that?
What is that? What does that look like? I
Wait, on
mean,
our team?
yeah, not own goals,
Interesting.
not own goals during a
Interesting.
power play.
Yeah.
What's your
There
advice here?
I will say when we're on the penalty kill and the other team scores on their power play, my go-to move is just to tell the person that's now exiting the box, like, "I just felt bad for you. I just wanted to get you paroled.
That's
I'm
right,
sorry."
exactly. We got you out
Um,
early.
but this is a thing that, like, and obviously, because I played in several different divisions from, like, I guess you could say our rink has, like, A, B, C, D. So I've been,
Mhm.
B and C, and then I sub in A this season is what I've been doing. The lower ones, there's really no difference whether there's a power play. Like, there's nothing that happens.
It's great
The
practice.
higher up you go in skill and experience, the more a power play starts to look like a power play. And that's the thing is, like, for so many of the rec league teams that I've subbed on, it's like I'd almost prefer that we have a penalty kill because there's no icing, so we can just get the puck in their zone. It's like almost more advantageous to get into
Yeah.
their zone more easily with fewer players. Whereas the power play, it's like nothing happens. And so I don't know what that means at like the rec league, beer league level. Like, do you have a special teams unit? Do you have? It probably depends on the teams that you're on, but like, how serious do you take your power plays?
Yeah, our that's sort of always been my dream. I'm like, guys, we should actually have like a little special teams group that goes out. Like, when it's a penalty kill, I want my best defenders out there. Like,
Yep.
drop a forward, give me your D. Like, let's go. On the power play, I like that swap. I mean, I think, beer league is so random. I think teams that actually think through a little bit of strategy really can get ahead. If you set your lines up for success when you have that advantage, and you just say, "Hey, look, for the next 2 minutes, we're going to put our best people out there. You guys are going to skate like hell. Like, let's go. Let's take advantage of that." Um, Most people, and like, I don't even take beer league that seriously, but that, I think, from an advice side to beer league teams, man, no one else is taking it seriously. So if you just take it serious
Yeah.
and go pop a goal in, I mean, that's just incredible when you can make
You
that
take it a little
happen.
bit serious. You have
That's
an
right. Like,
advantage.
I'm taking it serious. Why don't you guys, right?
Yeah. And one of my favorite things to do when we're on the power play is, because sometimes ideally not a lot happens at your end of the ice during the power play,
Yeah.
hopefully. So you're kind of like watching what's going on down there. But one of my favorite things to do is try my best to anticipate when the other team's going to clear the puck and then be in position to like stop it, pass it up, and like just save, those precious seconds. That's my favorite, where it feels like the other team, if they cleared the puck, it just comes right back. Like having that happen where it's like, oh, we cannot get it
Yeah,
out.
you're like, "Get
Um,
through." Yeah, or
that's my favorite thing.
they spend the whole one down in your zone. You're like,
Yeah,
we have the
that's
advantage, and
less
we spent
fun.
the whole period or the whole penalty in our zone."
Sometimes it is the whole period.
Like,
Yeah.
something just didn't work out there, but yeah, I think it's pretty magic. But what's your go-to, like, I don't know, so when the ice is or the puck's down on the other side, I use that time just, kinda shake things off, think a little bit, but I'm the guy that's, like, leaning back on the net, grabbing a water, just thinking, and then as
I
soon as it
I
starts rolling in, like, anywhere near half ice, I start getting back into position. But I think it's really funny to watch the different goalies and what they do when,
Yeah,
when the
I
puck's
try to
not on
stay
their
really
side, so
engaged.
yeah,
I heard a tip for a while ago, and I don't even remember where I heard this. It might have even been on like the In Goal podcast, but it was like I kind of like mentally call the game, and like pretend
I
I'm
like
like a
that.
play
Yeah,
by
yeah.
play, just to like, and that way when something happens, I'm like super ready for it. And then a thing I started doing recently, which I finally like figured out, is when the clock is ticking down, like hitting the ice to let your team know that time is ticking
Yeah,
away, last 10 seconds or whatever. And then they do that final push. So that's, you're kind of, you're like the timekeeper, you're keeping the puck in. I have a thing, and it took me a while. I've gotten so much better at this, thankfully. But for the longest time, the puck would come at me, not even fast or anything. And it's like, I don't know, you're in your gear, your helmet, you're looking down, I'm ready to stop it. And it just straight by the stick.
it's
And so
embarrassing. I know, and
I
everybody
am
just
like,
laughs
if
at
it's
you.
coming here,
Yeah,
I'm doing everything I can, like, be in position, make sure it's ready,
yeah.
like, I want to eliminate as many mistakes as
Any
possible,
chance
especially if I'm not very
possible.
busy, like,
I
you
like
did
that.
2 things during that power play, and you messed up both of them, like,
You're like,
I don't
"Come
want
on,
just
oh, you were just supposed to stop the puck." I know it's
yeah.
so awkward when you whiff on a puck or you're trying to send it up, and, like, I yell at my D when they pass it to the other team, and I think that's coming up here, but, um, yeah, when I pass it to the other team, I'm like, "Yeah, totally, that's 100% my fault." And I
Yeah,
get the assist on that one.
that's what I was saying, going for the assist. There have been a lot of games where my team's, like, bummed that we lost, and I'm like, "Yeah, but we scored the most
We
goals."
scored the
Just
most goals.
not all in the right net.
Not all in the right net. That's a perfect segue into our do you wanna take this one, the
Oh,
number
yeah.
5? Yeah.
Dear Santa, I would love a defenseman that can stay calm with the puck. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Not always. Most of the time, you have more time than you think.
Absolutely.
And that goes for us too. And
Yep.
we're behind the net or whatever. Like, you just take a second. Um, because panic passes, like panic plays, panic passes, the number of times people get it and they just want to rim it around the boards, they don't look. And so the person that's on the boards is just someone from the other team. It's like, that was a
Like,
great pass to
"Oh,
them.
hey, that was perfect pass. We should do that on the other side."
Yeah. So, making sure someone is in
Yeah.
position. As a goalie, I've really, this season, one of my things I've been trying to work on is communicating better and really letting people know like what's happening behind them. I feel bad like trying to direct traffic, like so and so's open or pass it to the point or whatever. Because I don't want to confuse somebody when they're already trying to do something and now I'm telling them something different. And um, I was taking flight training lessons for a while, and one of the things you learn, there's so much in that like transfers to,
That's cool, yeah.
well, so much for goalie that transfer everything else too.
Mhm.
But one of the things you learn is as you're flying, especially you're flying a little tiny plane and it's, you're not flying by instruments, it's all visual. You always have, every time you're in the air, you always have a plan. Like, here's an airport, here's a road, here's a field. Like, you're always looking for your
Right.
thing. And the thing that they teach you, which luckily I never had to put into practice, was you stick to your plan. So if you see, like, here's a road, that's going to be my emergency, stick with that. If you go towards that and suddenly like, but there's a nicer road or there's an airport over there, I'm going to switch at the last minute, you will just mess up everything.
Mhm.
That is something that has been so helpful just in life. Like, I have my plan, I'm sticking with it. Once I start going in that direction, it's usually better just to stick with that plan because even if there's a better option, as I change, now I'm not prepared and I've messed up. And so I'm worried about, if somebody has the puck and they're trying to make a play, they're trying to break it out or whatever, and they know what they're doing, and I'm throwing a wrench into their
Right.
works. But so often, though, people are under pressure, and so they are making those panic plays and having their goalie be able to tell them, who's open, who's on them, that they got time. That's the thing I find myself saying more than anything is just time, time. You got time. Like that's probably the thing I communicate more per game than anything else, and people don't realize sometimes how much time they have.
I love that. I think there's probably like a T-shirt in that whole segment there. We're gonna have to pull that out, but this is like the sage advice from the goalies, right? I expect you to start turning green and floating like Yoda.
The
You're
wise
right.
goalie.
The wise way, goalie. Yeah, that's funny. Yes, the Yoda master, right? Like,
Yes.
and it really is. I love that there's so much that translates out of the game
Mhm.
into life. But yeah, for me, I love that. Just take take a second. Just take one
Mhm.
deep breath, look up, take a deep breath, and just make a plan and sort of create your escape route out of the zone. Um, I think that in itself will eliminate 99% of the mistakes. Just slow down, take a breath, and look up. Like sometimes, yeah, I mean, whip it out, that's fine. Up off the glass, not up the
Mhm.
middle. My favorite thing's like just not up the middle, please.
Not up the
You have
middle.
all the rest of the ice, not up the
Not
middle.
right in front of the net.
It's just like I love those ones that just like loop over in the forward skate. They weren't even expecting. It's all of a sudden it's like, well, hello, I have the puck
Yeah.
and no one around.
I have
That
learned to defend against my own team just out
it,
of abundance of caution, like,
yeah,
keep stick on the ice, track the puck, even if it's, like,
totally. Well,
my
it's
own
like
team.
in my head, I'm like, I'm playing against, you know, 9
Mhm.
other people out there, right? I mean, it's just
I say that
it's just
also.
like, let's go. It's fine. And, I mean, that's a good way to be prepared for anything to come in.
Right.
But I mean, there are just some such random things. But yeah, up and off the glass, slow down, take a deep breath. I love your find an escape route and stick to it. You don't need to be
Mhm.
fancy. Just, I mean, all we're asking, get it out of zone. I don't care about icing. Like, send it
Yeah.
down and reset. I mean, that's a
If
magic
that's what you gotta do, that's what you gotta
escape
do.
route. Just get it down there, reset, get fresh people on the ice. I think that thing's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, let's hit this next one. So, Dear Santa, and this one's actually pretty cool. I think most beer leaguers are pretty good at this one, but
Yeah.
Dear Santa, a bench that notices saves. Like we're working our butts off out there,
Yeah.
and some nights I wish Live Barn was cooler because
I know.
half the time I'm like, I just made like this is an ESPN worthy
Yeah.
save. Triple backflip, hit it with the
Yeah.
blade, like, and then I smacked it out with my stick. Yeah, and then you look it on Live Barn, it looks like I just fell over and the puck hit me in the head.
Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly
But
it.
it's really fun when you're hearing your team, and they're just like, "Great save," and you hear them
Yeah.
going crazy. There's a
Or
lot of
the other
energy.
goalie even will
Yeah,
start, like
exactly. Yep.
that's where I'm like, "Oh, I did a good job."
Yeah, it's fun. I love like, I tap the net. I'm always like, "Great glove, good save." I mean, we get enough grief on our own,
Mhm.
just from everyone else, and so, like, it's kinda fun taking care of the other goalie too. But,
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of energy coming from the bench, right? Good and bad.
Yeah, good energy. Because that's the thing, I mean, I think everybody's a little bit different. I am someone who just in general, I react way better to positive reinforcement because 'cause I'll be so hard on myself. Like, by the time something went in,
Yeah,
I've already, like, beat myself up about it, thought about it, tried to figure out what I could do. I do the thing, which I did learn also from In Goal, speaking of, where you kinda classify your saves as, like, could have, should have, no chance,
I love
and
that.
it's like
Yes.
very rarely is it a no chance. Every once in a while it is, and I'm like, "Sweet, I'm just gonna grab some water and hang out." But,
Yep.
like, a lot of them are could haves. The should haves I feel terrible about. The could haves are the ones I can really learn from because that's where it's like, "Okay, like, why was my glove just a little too low? Why was I, like, not sealing the post the way I thought I was?" So I'm beating myself up. By the time someone else is like,
Yeah.
"Ugh, man," I'm like, "I know." So, and you like you said, you had a game where you faced 97 shots, but,
Uh,
whatever, 10 went in or something, 12 went in.
yep.
Um, no one's looking at the 82 other saves that you made.
Yep. It
And
it's
sometimes it's like I had somebody on one team who was so good, I think it's because he used to play goalie for roller hockey, And so he would notice, he's like, I saw you do like, you were doing the splits, you were doing this. He's like, this team doesn't know what they have. And I'm like, thank you. And then other times it's like what you said, you pull out an ESPN highlight reel and it's like crickets. And you're like, maybe nobody saw. I
You
feel
didn't
like
even
that was
see that?
amazing. And nobody
Like, that's what I want people in the stands because it's so amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that, the psychology in a goalie, right? Like, it
Mhm.
is hard, and, when your team believes in you, I feel like it gives you an extra gear. I think the most frustrating thing for me is, like, when the defender that just let that guy through, and then they score, and then they skate off like, "Oh, Baker, you should have had that." I'm like, "You're right, I should have." And it's funny
Yeah.
how it just sticks in your head. 'Cause, I know every shot, like, I should have
In
blocked it.
theory,
That's my
right?
job,
They're all
right?
blockable in
Yeah.
theory.
But, this is like they always talk about this, like the only position in sports where there's a big red light that goes off every time you make a mistake. We
I
actually don't
know.
have a red light or a buzzer, so it's probably a little more mellow in our rink.
Thankfully.
But man, I mean, just that pressure in life in general. I mean, we're programmed to notice mistakes.
Mhm.
You look at negativity, like that sells, that's how it goes. Things go viral. That positivity rarely gets the traction. And so we're already wired to just feel bad about things. And, for the most part, you got to be a goldfish. You have to reset. But yeah, when your team is cheering you on, you know that they have your back. They're working hard.
Mhm.
But yeah, when they're chirping you, it's like that this stings a little bit more.
Stings a little bit. And if you look at, if you pick anyone during a game, you just watch them play like a forward or a defense player, the number of mistakes that they make is a ton, but it's just not
You don't notice.
it's not as noticeable
Yeah.
oftentimes. Sometimes it is, but they can whiff on a puck, they can miss a pass, they can do whatever, and it's like there's somebody else right there to kind of get it, or they can recover. Whereas as soon as we make the mistake, well, now there's a whistle and a light or something. Something happens, and everyone knows about it,
Everyone's like, that
and
goalie. Yeah.
it's a little more public. So yeah, the positive encouragement is quite nice.
It is quite nice. It's very good. All right. Well, how about this next one? Dear Santa, a team that back checks. I love this one. When you've got a team that's dialed in, and especially that center. I think the center that floats back to help on D, I think that's a game changer for any team I've ever played
Yeah.
on. But what's your experience on this one?
Um, I it really is. It comes down to the difference when you play with teams that understand their positions versus not. And there's a thing I call the clump, which is like you can tell where the puck is because there's just a clump of players just
Like the
circling the.
5-year-old soccer team?
Yeah, exactly. Um, and even like prior to playing goalie, I was doing a few learn to plays. I never like played in like a league or anything as a forward, but I did some learn to plays and scrimmages and stuff. And I remember somebody just told me like, here's your spot. These are your positions. Try to hang out here. And even if the puck's over there, it's gonna come back over here. And it's like, it did. It was like magic. I was like, wow, amazing. And so I think so much of it comes down to, I mean, and that's experience, right? It's game sense, it's game IQ, it's knowing your position, knowing when you can kind of like stretch it a little bit, knowing when you need to play more conservatively, which also applies to goalies. Um, that to me, that's the biggest difference. And ideally, it's like we're all. I don't really care about being. We don't need to be the beer league team that absolutely dominates the
Yeah.
11 p.m. game and just like take it super seriously. But we are all trying to get a little bit better. And
Mhm.
so, taking the time to learn our positions and coat, the more that a team is not individuals, right? Like if you play a pickup game, everyone's just a center because it's just
Yeah.
like, and that's it. There's, you might have the one weirdo who's like, I like defense, and
I
they're
like
back there,
defense. Yeah.
and I love them. I love that
Yeah.
weirdo.
We're like, "Please
But
show up
for
to
the
the
most part,
guard."
everyone's just gonna try to run it down the center and shoot. And that's everyone on the ice. So it's like that's pickup. It's not a
Mhm.
team. It's not people might not even know each other, have never played together before. When you're on your team where you play together regularly, even if it's just for that one season of 20 games or whatever, you have the chance to communicate, you have the chance to build rapport, to get to know each other. And that's what we talked about earlier, where it was like you have those defense pairings where there's unspoken communication happening. You're not going to get to the NHL level of that kind of thing, but you can definitely get to a point where your team is working so much more cohesively. And That plays in a back check, forecheck, everything, but
Yeah.
it's just a
It's
beautiful thing.
I say it's beautiful to watch when, you get those moments during a game where things are just your team's in the
Mhm,
zone and they're flowing and people are in the right positions. I think it kind of goes back to the earlier one. It's like just remember, take a breath and look up and find that open ice. There's generally an outlet and, somebody ready to go. If you're always the guy that, skates it all the way down the ice and, misses the shot on the other side and you don't
yeah,
ever pass, like there are four other people on your team. And sometimes, you're down there with two other skaters that happen to be forwards that
mhm,
their job is to score. And if you're just always taking that shot, you know, maybe reevaluate that a little bit. I think you have a better percentage. Even, at least like do the pass off the goalie's block or the goalie's pads or, do something,
mhm,
like think of the team. I think that part's so great. And it's like when everybody's connected, when your forwards are coming back and they're helping out, that extra person in front of the crease pushing people around and clearing stuff out. It really does make a difference because,
it's
when they
huge.
start cheating another guy in, it's another person you have to worry about. And, those cross ice passes to the one timer in, you're like, look, I know I should have made it from this post to that post really fast. I tried, but physics are only as good as like as much as we can push
The
and get
spirit
to
is
that other
willing.
side, right? Exactly. And so, somebody, if there's an open guy, and your other winger's just chilling out on the blue line and someone's just sitting by the post, like, hey, pay attention to get down there. But I think it rolls into the whole team approach that I love about hockey. And I think it's a nice one.
Mhm,
Kind of this last one wrapping up is this one. And I think this is the best part about beer league and my podcast is just like it's all about optimism and trying to find positivity.
mhm,
And this is the thing that I love so much about beer league. But the last one was Dear Santa, someone to talk to after the game. This is one of those things like we are all adults living our lives. Our kids have problems. We're worried about paying bills and our jobs and family and the world and politics. And there's so much.
mhm,
When I get to walk into the rink and start putting on my gear. I get to take my CEO backpack off, my dad backpack off, all the other backpacks that I'm wearing. I get to take that off for 90 minutes and
mhm.
I get to go out there and play a game that I love with my best friends. And even if there's
Yep.
a jerk out there, like these are my friends, this is my family, and it's sacred to me to like have that time on the ice to just be able to relax because everybody in life, like we're all dealing with something. And when you get to like, I feel very privileged that I get to take a minute and I get to go have fun like a kid so
Mhm.
often during the week. I don't, I know there's a lot of people that they don't play a sport, they don't have a hobby, they're not in social groups, and it's so isolating. For me, I like feel very lucky. So for me, like that is the best part about beer league is just people to hang out with and talk to after the game. What's been your sort of locker room experience that post game, pre game ritual for you, and how's that connected and kept you in the
I've
game?
been really lucky to be on really positive teams, like the teams that I've been fully like a registered player on. And obviously like we're happier after a win, but I don't really think you could tell if you saw like a quick video clip in the locker room after a game. I don't think you could tell if we won or lost.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love that. And and that is what it comes down to. It's funny, you're like, "I just wanna go out there and relax by having pucks shot
Right.
at my head and
Shooting in
stuff."
my head,
It's like,
yeah.
this is how we relax. Um, but it is true, and that's what it does all come down to, and I love playing with people who keep that in perspective, and I did think that was normal because that has been literally every team that I've been on has pretty much had that vibe. And then I started subbing for a couple teams, and I remember, like, after a loss, it was like there was a vibe in that locker room, and I was like,
Yeah. It's
"Oh,
quiet.
uh-oh."
I love the blame game. It's a perfect thing for life. It's like, you're just like blaming everyone else and
Yeah,
or
and
that
that's I
they
mean, that's
isolate, they're like, I ruined the game, as a goalie, like in that team locker room, I'm just like, dude, I'm
oh,
sorry I ruined your night, guys. Like I tried so hard.
yeah,
But yeah,
I
it's
know.
such a different vibe. Yeah.
And I think that's such a big like, having people just understand, keeping things in perspective, trying to have fun. A lot of people I play with, they're like, "Yeah, I wanna be on the worst team in a good league than the best team in a low league because it's
Yeah.
like, that's how we're gonna get better, and that's how I feel is like, it sucks when you go out and you just get those, 10 to 2 games or whatever, and that
Yeah.
happens, but it's like, I know that at the end of that game, I'm a better goalie because of it, and I know my team is better, and it's like you're putting in reps, you're getting better. I love going against like being in those tough situations because that's how I learn. I've even had to tell, like you were saying, when teams are like, they're up, they kind of tone it back
Yeah.
when it's a big. I tell them like, keep going. Like
Yep.
I want the
Don't take it
shot. Like
easy on me. Yeah.
yeah, like
Yep.
I am here for like I'm here for this and I want to have fun and I want to do as good as I can. So like let me take shots. So just go for it. I don't care.
Yeah, most
Um
of the time when a team starts letting up, it actually makes me frustrated. I'm like, "Come on, guys, like, I know you could have taken that shot." I mean,
yeah.
there's the occasional game where I'm like, "Yeah, thank you. I'm wiped out." I've you probably had it too, like, you're on your 4th game and you're just
Yeah.
wiped out, and, "Yeah, thanks for not, doing that breakaway or taking that shot," but, yeah, bring it on. I mean, it's just that's what we're here for the most part.
Yeah, and getting to know like our team will do, we'll do like whatever, like parking lot barbecue
Mhm.
sometimes or whatever. And it's
Love the
like,
after parties, yep.
yeah, just hanging out for a little bit. And sometimes, there's always some casual thing of every game where people just hang out and like whatever, have a couple beers or something and just talk. But it's kind of nice every once in a while to do something that's even a little more. And it's like people's families or their kids will show up and it's, like the person that I know is like, oh yeah, you are that really good defenseman, but you're also like a cartographer for the government. Like you get to know people in totally
Right.
different ways, and it's I don't know. It just helps build it, and that's I don't know. It is a very special thing, especially like you were saying as adults. It's very hard to
Mhm.
make friends as an adult, and I feel like hockey is a complete cheat code
Yep.
because it's like my contact list is longer than I would ever have thought or even sometimes wanted to be, just because it's like you have all these great people. Our rink overall is awesome. Like, uh, we're at the point now where it's been around long enough that like uh, all the jerks left or got kicked out. So it's
Yeah,
like everyone is there's like
they don't
there's
last long.
quirky people
Mhm.
and eccentric people, but like that's cool. Um,
Yeah.
there's no one who's there. There's really like I could go in there, play on or against any team and have a good time, and that's magical.
It is. I mean, I just think the world needs so much more of that. It is it's fascinating. Even in so I'm in North Idaho. It's very divisive on the political side.
Hmm.
You've got extremes on both sides, and doesn't matter. Like, you show up
Doesn't
on
matter
the
at
ice,
all.
and it's like, nobody cares who you voted for. Like, the number one rule is just, like, just don't be an asshole. Like, that is the
Yeah.
one thing that Beerly just doesn't tolerate well, and those people burn out, and you're like,
Hmm.
we try to, like, convert you and send you to therapy and, like, just take away that thing that makes you an asshole, but at some point, like, it's so sacred that, like, we have to protect that, and that it's
Hmm.
funny that one person can ruin the night for everybody. The refs go out and they're like, "We had to write up a report because somebody had a
Oh, I
fight."
know.
And, what are we doing? It's beer league and your
Yeah.
testosterone flare up and you're getting into these fights. Doesn't matter. I've never had a fight. I've had, again, a night where it's just like a terrible day and I lost my mind.
Hmm.
And it's like, it's embarrassing for me
Oh,
that that's
it's
even in
awful.
the history. Like, people remember that night. They're like, "Baker, remember that night when
I
you
hate
all you
that.
did for a
That was
whole
like a
period
year
was
ago,
drop
let it
F
go.
bombs?" And I'm like, "I know, like, I love that that's what you remember, but it was a bad day." But it's
Yeah.
like, it's this black mark on the optimist record here. But
I
um,
feel
it,
exactly the same.
it's just this sacred thing, and I think you have to fight for it.
Mhm.
I love, a couple of other things with this. Like, so you and I, we've done Weekend Warriors, the camp. I'd say throw a shout out to Weekend Warriors.
Oh
Like,
my
if you're
gosh, yeah.
looking for an experience, like, go learn how to play the game. I love that Weekend Warriors gives you that opportunity to just show up and run drills and learn how to play the game. I've improved. I wish I was better, but I've improved every year. I always come home with something from
Mhm.
that. And then I've participated in a lot of stuff with Nick Flehart with the Beer League Players Association, where they're traveling the world, and there's other groups, but they're traveling the world playing hockey. I'm in Vegas next weekend. with my son Jake. We're playing in a tournament. He started
Nice.
playing hockey like 3 years ago. It is so much fun, and he's been on opposite teams as I have been, and so
Yeah.
we get to play against each other. I mean, they're like, take advantage of those opportunities. If you're playing, I mean, just show up for a like sign up for a tournament, grab one of these extracurricular things and just extend it, because like I'm so lucky to have had a chance to meet you, and I've met so many people across this hockey spectrum, all across the country, all across the
Mhm.
world, where people that are this common family of hockey is just there. I think it's incredible. Do you have anything you want to add to that?
I mean, I just agree emphatically with everything you said. And I mean, from the point of view of like weekend warriors, I've done all kinds of different classes and learned to plays with varying degrees of, quality. And weekend warriors was the one where I was like, oh, you can tell they've been doing this for decades at this point. Like they have it down, but not in
Yeah.
a way that feels like impersonal. It's just like you are getting the most of every minute of your ice time there. And you're definitely going to come back, whether you're going as a goalie or a player, you're going to come back with something to help make you better. So for sure that, and then just all like, I think exactly what you said, that community, you will have it at your rink, but there, it's a weirdly large, and also it's a large distance, but a small community.
Yep.
And you will always find someone that knows someone that played with someone that, and it's like, it's really cool. And the way that I've been able to connect with people like yourself included beyond just the games where, outside of it, like we could talk about, podcasting or whatever, like it's really, really, it's a great way to connect with people in an awesome way that does just forget everything else. I know that there are people on my teams that do not have the same political beliefs as I do or whatever. And it's like, it has literally never mattered.
Yeah.
I wish the rest of life was like
I
this.
wouldn't it be? And yeah, I think that's that perfect transition into, there's this thing that I think as a goalie, I run a large healthcare organization. I've started dabbling with music and art, and
Mhm.
like I am used to people chirping me from the stands, from the bench, right? That is part
Mhm.
of it. And I have had to learn how to toughen up and be able to take that. I just had a recent experience here where I had an art show going, and, there's a segment of the community that just really didn't appreciate what I was trying to do. And because of the tool I use, the story about improving women's health and, empowering community and building it, that got lost in the story.
Mhm.
I had to lean into all the different parts of me, and I got that from hockey as well. It's like, this is gonna be a really hard day, but I know I have to kinda do the gold fisting. I have to shake it off
Yep.
and, show up. What are some other leadership lessons or life lessons you've taken out of your hockey experience, your goalie experience, that kind of has helped you the most?
Yeah, I mean, a big one really is that realization, which I kind of mentioned a while ago, that you have a huge impact on the feel of the game. So, those days, like if you let in a goal and you're like, oh, and you're just mad about it, you can instantly see how the team plays after that.
Yeah.
If you let in a goal and you are just the goldfish and it's like, yeah, no big deal, like whatever, or you even make a joke about it or something, and then you're right back in it, you can see everyone feels confident in front of you. And it's like you really, that kind of a thing applies to wherever you're at, right? Like doesn't matter your the way that you react to things, the way that you handle things affects not just you, but the feeling of everybody. It goes back to the story of like, oh, you're the nice goalie. Like you can, regardless of what's going on, you can be the person that when you show up in a space, people are like, okay, that guy is great. Like whatever's happening here, this is going to be a better experience because that person is there. And then and that goes down with also how you handle, like we were talking about people like blaming goals or whatever, but the number of times I've had a player apologize to me like, oh, that was on me, that was totally
Oh,
on me, and
yeah.
then I'll say like, hey, I'm
No, no,
also
no.
here with the biggest set of pads and it got through, so like you could say it's on me as
Yeah.
well, like and just really understanding, everyone, you never know what's going on underneath somebody's helmet or whatever, behind their pads, and it's just like you don't necessarily have those same physical motions in like a day-to-day office setting or whatever,
Yeah.
but it does kind of teach you to be very in tune with others, to really kind of I guess it's like look for the best or at least hope for the best, expect the best in others if they are trying, give them the benefit of the doubt. Like someone messed up here, someone did something wrong, but like I have a feeling they didn't want to do it that way. So like, how can I help or how can I just, give them a little grace and be forgiving or make it feel less, the number of times I make a mistake and someone shows up and just makes a joke or whatever, and now I feel better about it. Like very easy to do that to other people in all kinds of aspects of life.
Yeah. No, I love how, your energy carries over and, you know, even when we don't realize it, we're making an impact on someone. And,
Mhm.
when I come home from work and I'm stressed out and had a bad day and I didn't like clear my head before I walked in and I'm just like,
Right.
whoa, you come in hot. And, like I've had games where, I barely made it to the rink on time to, like I'm the hour early guy. I
Me
like to
too.
show up. I have my
Nice.
process. When I miss that and I rush, like I feel like I'm coming in hot and I haven't been able to settle in. And, again, I think that's just this other magical part about a game that we love so much. It's really good for your brain, your body, and just the world, right? When we get to go in, have fun, practice, like clearing our heads. I don't know, would you say hockey's like meditation? I don't know that that's really,
In a weird
but it
way, for
kind of is,
sure.
right?
Yeah.
You're getting into this space where it's not necessarily quiet, but you're leaving a bunch of stuff behind and you're there to have fun. And
Yeah.
God, I wish more people could have that experience. So yeah.
Yeah, 100%, especially as someone who discovered sports and the sport of hockey later in life. As a kid, I never did it, and it's like I really do feel like I missed out because there's something super special. I mean, hockey, I feel like is the best sport. I'm a little
No, a
biased,
little biased, but that's okay. We
but
admit that.
but there's
We're
stuff,
not wrong.
having been a high school teacher, I worked with students that were on teams all the time and was, like super close. I never coached a team, but I taught yearbooks. So I was always at games, doing photos, working with coaches, etc. Um, and there is something really special about sports specifically that you can't really get anywhere else. And the fact that you can still get that as an adult at virtually any age to some degree. There's a group that I play with every the beginning of every year from like January to April because I live in Southern California. It's super seasonal, so a lot of people from colder places like Canada or like the East Coast or whatever come and live out here for half the year. And so there's a group of old timers.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's what they call it. They call themselves like I forget like the Can-Am celebs or something, but it's like old timers hockey,
Pretty
and
cool.
they run 60 to 90-minute long scrimmages 4 days a week. They like rent the rink out like in the middle of the day for 4 months. They organize it like a year in advance. And so I usually play with them on one of the days just because they're a little short on goalies. So I think the youngest person in their group is early 50s and the oldest is early 80s. And it's
Cool.
like some of these people have been playing like literally for like 70 years. It's like,
That's awesome.
um, and it's crazy. And it's how much fun everybody has and how good everybody can be. And I mean, like, everybody's very careful about falls and stuff and injuries. If somebody falls, everything pauses and we make
That's
sure they get
right.
back up.
So you break a hip.
Um, but they could also skill wise put so many people to shame who are like half their age or younger. And it's just like, that is crazy. I would love to be able to continue having this experience and being able to do stuff like that for like decades longer. That'd be
Yeah, I
magic.
mean, that the grandpa in beer league is it's like this just majestic, wise person. We have a guy named Arlie. He's a physician in town. Arlie has this slow, like the snake charmer weave. Like he'll take the puck
Mhm.
and he'll weave through everybody coming down the ice, and it's this slow, methodical perfection. And
Yeah.
where everyone's just like, "How did that happen?" I mean, Arlie's been playing forever, and it's just there's just something about that. Slow down, play the game, and just have fun with it. So
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, it's such an incredible sport, and I love how it flows into life. And
Mhm.
we were talking before the episode, like I got really nervous. I don't get nervous very often, but I got nervous, like having you on the show, and you know, um, I think as a goalie, that's another thing where it's like you do kind of put yourself out there. You're sort of that single-minded
Mhm.
entity going like, I have a job, I have to do something. And there is a lot of other people that are out there judging you. And like for me, like putting out music and art and books and all that stuff. And then, this whole podcast experience just been
Hmm.
crazy, but it's been so much fun. I think I'm sure you've had this experience of just like you're connecting with people that you never would have met, and
Oh my
your
gosh, yeah.
your podcast, like just even your main one on techie and podcast stuff, like I love how the vibe of your podcast is just it's positive. You have fun with like you can tell that you just love it. And I think,
Oh, I love
similar to
that.
being a goalie, you love the job of a goalie. If you don't love being a goalie, don't fake it. Like stop because
It'd be
it
very
ruins
hard to
the game
fake
for
that.
everybody. But I think, again, just back to life, like if you're gonna do something, love it. Life is way too short to hate your job, to hate the activities you're doing. Just bring that vibe. But I'm so grateful that, you came on the show and it's fun to be able to have those meet those like-minded people
Hmm.
and really connect. And I hope that's what people take away from today. I mean, we had fun and there's definitely some great instructional value as a teacher. You're like, I don't know if that syllabus was set up correctly, but
I think it
but
was great.
as
A
a
plus.
but as as a hockey player, we're simple-minded people. It's like, there's some really good tips, but I hope that people take more from the podcast than our strategic tactical advice, right? Like step back for a minute and just think about how lucky we are that we get to go participate in this beautiful sport with friends that we love, and we get to build a life around something like that. I wish more and more people would have that in their lives. But man, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Do you have anything you
Yeah,
want to
thank you
share
for
on the way
having me.
out? Yeah.
I mean, this was a ton of fun. I love the broader approach because I just love contextualizing everything. So seeing how something like, yeah, hockey seems fun, um, you know, but it's like, wow, there's so much more to it than that. And it's funny because my wife does always say, like, we watch hockey a lot. She even did learn to play classes before we met, like way before I did. And she's always like, I don't know who would want to be a goalie. And like, there is just something, if you love it, you love it. We watch games. There have been times where like something will happen. A player comes down, does this amazing thing, shoots, the goalie saves it. And like literally I will yell, what a save. And she's like, what a shot. And I'm like, we are watching the game very differently. It's like,
Exactly.
it is just a thing, but and I think there's something too about the position of goalie specifically that ties into like it. To me, it's strange because I'm always like, "Are you sure no one else wants to do like really like? There's not people vying for spots on every team. Like to me, that blows my mind. But it's when you find that thing that's something for some reason most people don't want to do, but you do want to do. Like as a teacher, that was if someone wanted to be a middle school special ed teacher, and like there are people who loved that more than anything. It's like, oh, you have unlimited job
Very
security.
special
Like,
person. Exactly. Yeah.
yeah. And if you can find that thing, for me, like goalie is one of them where it's like, I guess I love it so much, but other people like don't want to do it for some reason. And I just can't understand it. If you find that thing, it's really special. And that doesn't have to just be a position in sports, but you can kind of always look out for that. Like, it's another thing that carries over. Whatever you're involved with, there's always a situation where you're probably going to be like not bothered by something that other people don't want to do, and then you can really help out by doing that thing. And like you said, the ability to connect. Hockey's been absolutely amazing for that, and the people and the weird overlaps is just completely wild. I have on my wall back here. I have a photo of it's like a animated thing, not animated because it's a still photo. It's an art piece of Sharky, the
Oh
mascot for the
yeah.
San Jose
Yeah.
Sharks. And I made a video about 3D printing, and people were like, "Is that Sharky?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yeah." And like, I did a video. I recently did a video about 3D printing, and I didn't mean for it to happen this way. I filmed the video over like a couple of weeks, and I started the video in a Kraken sweater and ended it in a Sharks hoodie, and it just
Oh,
kind of
funny.
happened that way. And it was so funny the number of people who are like, "Oh, you're into Pacific Division and this, that," and it's like, okay, you're watching a 3D printing video. I made a 3D printing video, but now we're talking about hockey. And you're from a totally different state. And it's like, it has just been a magical way to connect with people. Like hockey, the internet, putting yourself out there, sharing things, going for the things you're excited in. It's all, it's the best thing you can do.
It is. I think it's magical, and I love that we all have just sort of our little secret code. I didn't have my CCM hat on, but like I'll wear a CCM hat or I have a goalie tattoo on my calf. And like
Oh,
just
nice.
the random things that like people notice in the airports or whatever. I mean, I've had
Hmm.
great conversations with people that have never played but grew up watching the game, or they had, experiences.
Yeah.
I spent my childhood going to the Salt Lake Golden Eagles, Salt Palace. It was this just incredible thing. But I went with my grandpa all the time, and I just the smell of the arena. I mean, my wife hates the hockey smell, but there's a different that cold ice smell when you walk in. It's just like
Yeah, that
it
smell,
just, like,
not the
brings you
gear
home. Not the
smell.
gross gear smell, but even the gross gear smell, sometimes it's like, I miss that." But, it's like there's just that thing, and I think it
Hmm.
hits all of our senses, and it just feels like a safe place. It brings me back to, okay, my grandpa passed away a long time ago, but, dude, I know he would be having so much fun watching us play. We
Hmm.
lost my mom a little while ago to Alzheimer's, and, she came to a few of my games as an adult, and it's just this cool thing where you get to share this really cool experience with
Yeah,
everyone. And I
I love
I
that.
again, I hope more people get a chance to do that. Stay connected. I mean, maybe we just need to create like the Nice Goalies podcast and just lean into this thing here. But it's like there's a lot to it. And so if you're thinking about playing hockey, just do it. If you're thinking about another
Oh, for
sport,
sure.
I mean, maybe reconsider your life choices, but try it. I know that people that play soccer have fun too, and softball. Like,
Heard.
everyone has their own culture, and it's fine. It's not as cool as hockey, but put yourself into those places where you can get out of your head for a minute. And we do a lot of work around the mental health space with my work, and just the importance of having a few minutes to check out and do something that you love. It's great for your brain. It's great for your body, and I think it's one way you can kind of make the world just a little bit better, by going to do something that's fun. So
It's a fun way to make the world a better place
fun
for
way to
sure.
make the world a better place. Well, this has been a blast. Thank you for being here. This is going to air the week before Christmas, so I'm going to get this out this
Yay.
weekend. So, well, do we have any last messages for Santa on the way out?
Actually, I have one little gift if you want to,
Yeah.
if you or one little gift request if you want to make the goalie in your life help happy and help them. This is maybe just me. I don't know how you feel about this. During warmups, you get the very gracious 5 minute baby beer league warm up. Anytime someone else puts the net on for me, they're my best friend for the day. I'm not a fan of spending, the first chunk of my warm up trying to fight with these pegs and then get my gear and then I have to stretch and then try to like I don't you, if you put the net in for me, it's such a good Christmas gift. So
Amen. It is so awkward. I've just actually gotten to the point where I refuse. Like, I'll sit on the side and stretch until someone puts a net, because I like it's so awkward. Like, you're falling over, you got all this gear on, and you have to bend over and
sometimes
weird
people see
spots.
you in the net and they're like, "Oh, he's ready," and to take
Then they
shots. I'm like,
start
"My
taking
helmet is
shots.
off and my back is to you.
Exactly.
Please don't do that."
Yes, I love it. That's a great parting
Yeah,
gift. So,
put in the net for your
for
goalie,
those that love the goalies in your life, just put the net on, please.
please, please,
All right.
please.
Well, Tom, I hope you have a wonderful Christmas, great holiday season. This has been fun. We'll have to do it again. We'll come up with some other fun
Love to.
topics and just keep it going. And hopefully we see you at one of the camps. I gotta
Cannot
really
wait.
focus on Tahoe. That was a great spot. So I gotta work on
I
that.
I'm
So
so I'm so excited. I'd love to spend some more time on the ice with you.
sounds great. All right. Well, have a good one. Thanks for being here. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that episode. That was so much fun. Again, real honor having Tom on the show. Listen, I send you out every week with a song. A little while ago, I realized there's just not a lot of like new hockey music out there. So I built out a couple albums. I'm sending you out with one of my favorite songs. It's all about being a goalie. It's called Behind the Mask. So check it out. I'll leave the links to all of the albums on the streaming services. So do hockey music. You need that in your locker room. So everyone go check it out. Enjoy Behind the Mask.
It's quiet in the crease, just me and the storm. No one hears the war when the pads get worn. Mask on, world out, nerves locked tight. I stand where heroes crack a fight. Can't blame the deed, can't hide from the shame. When it slips through, it's me to blame. Every bounce, every crossbar ring etches my story in the frozen rain. Behind the mask, I face it all. The cheers, the doubts, the sudden falls. No spotlight, just cold and sweat. I'm the calm that meets regret. I talk to pipes like they're old friends, whisper prayers between the ends. I see the play before it starts, then bet my soul and guard my heart. No backup here, no place to run. It's you or a ghost when the breakaway comes. Behind the mask, I face it all. The cheers, the doubts, the sudden falls. No spotlight, just cold and sweat. I'm the calm that meets regret. I was a child. When the rink is empty and the crowd moves past, you'll find